Hello, second video from Everything Electric South. I am at the Tesla stand and there's a Cybertruck which actually looks quite impressive in person, but there is no way I'm test driving that. I'm test driving something much more UK friendly, which is the Model 3 Performance. I've never driven a Highland and it has been a while since I've been in a Performance, so I wanted to see what this revised version with improved suspension, handling, new seats is like in practice. Now these indicators, that will be the real test. So I've never driven a Model 3 Highland before, and you know what the way to start by going for the Performance. We will also mute the speed limit warning. This is how it should be done. You know, of course it's a mandatory requirement, but one tap on the screen, no going through menus. Nice. The suspension is nice. So the Model 3 Performance is the only one which rides for now on adaptive dampers. Still no air suspension or anything like that. Dynamics, let's put the ride and handling into standard just to see what the comfort is like. Yeah. This is what just Tesla does best. The accelerator pedal tuning, perfect. Smooth, linear, but still responsive. And you can just lift off smoothly, even though it's the Performance. You will not make your passenger sick, what I like to see. And likewise with Regen, still probably the best system out there. It has quite strong one-pedal driving, and I love the suspension. So again, Performance, meaning we are on 20-inch wheels with quite low-profile tires. The new Performance Highland has these new modified sport seats, so the seats are physically different from the standard cars, but the refinement is lovely. And you could easily do long journeys in this, but I've got significantly more side support. Unfortunately, you can't kind of inflate or deflate the side bolsters like on something like the BMW i4. And yeah, the indicators are taking a little bit of getting used to, but it's fine. Let's see over these potholes, like it's a bit, these are not sharp potholes, but it's nice. This is such a huge step up in quality. This is still a little bit aggressive, the AEB, but such a huge step up in quality compared to the pre-facelift, regardless of whether it's Performance or just the kind of civilian long range. I think this actually rides better than the pre-facelift long range. It's really that nice. I've got the steering set to standard, and yeah, suspension standard and acceleration standard as well. Obviously, if you want to ease it off even more, or if you're kind of handing the car to someone who has not driven one before, you can set it to chill. On these cobblestones, I just got off the Volvo EX30. Obviously that was a little bit more comfortable, and you can feel the cobblestones here, but there is no rattling and it's all very well controlled, I would say. Let's see, indicating out of the roundabout. These buttons on the steering wheel are touch haptic buttons, but I daily drive an ID3. I can assure you this is just how it should have been done. You know, if you just brush against them, nothing happens. You can just do the lightest of presses and it instantly reacts, and it actually feels like a physical button. We will be able to check when we go and look at one inside whether this bit of the steering wheel trim actually moves, because I think it does. It's that convincing. It's like using your Apple laptop touchpad, which also just imitates the clicking, and I'm sure once you get used to this it will be fine. So on these twisty roads, let's quickly go into driving dynamics. Suspension set to sport and acceleration insane. The throttle mapping didn't seem to change that much. We are still doing the same speed, but hold on, Mr. Cameraman, if I punch it, oh yeah, this is nice. And this is the difference with Tesla to anything else. Somehow they managed to incorporate smoothing into the accelerator pedal, but at the same time when you put your foot down, there is not a moment of hesitation. You just get kind of full power immediately. Is your neck okay? Nice. Okay. So straight through this roundabout, I will try to give these people a bit more of a gap in the front. Typical Toyota drivers, just going slowly. Right. Yeah. Okay, let's see. It rotates so nicely. Also, now that I had to be on the physical brakes, not just Regen, it just feels so much lighter than any of its competitors, like the i4 or anything, and it makes sense. It's a much lighter vehicle. But yeah, the braking The brake pads have a different compound. It's a softer compound, so technically speaking it wears off quicker, but it's more suitable for truck use. In fact, I believe it's very similar, if not the same, what used to be in the truck package with the previous generation of the Model 3. And it makes sense because in daily driving you are going to be using regen most of the time, and this way you have a more suitable braking package for high performance use without any compromise on daily life. And that's again one of the benefits of EVs, the fact that you have regen, the car can be super comfortable, and without changing modes, you know, if I want to drive a bit more dynamically, I can. Yeah, like, can you get anything better than this for this kind of price point especially? i4 M50, I hate to break it to BMW fans and German car fans, this is better, and I think Tesla has caught up. Obviously, the biggest kind of point of contention on these Model 3s is the steering wheel mounted controls. I love how kind of clean and slim this steering column is. It gives me kind of lots of knee room. From a detailing perspective, you know, when preparing cars, there's one less thing to kind of clean. From a reliability point of view, I actually have seen some Model 3s where the indicator stalk or the drive selector stalk starts creaking over time. So this way it's kind of solid state, one point of failure removed. So that's also nice. Yeah. What else is to say? It's great. We finally got rid of the Toyota driver. Now we have some traffic jam ahead of us. This test drive is not really meant to be, is it? Yeah, and even over some of the bumps. It's a very daily friendly sports car. I wouldn't say, maybe if you compare to a petrol kind of hardcore modified M3, this is not gonna be the same thing. But if you need a daily, which can also, you know, you can drive quickly on some country roads and have some fun with it. It's a very clean experience. You don't get a fake engine sound or anything like that, but I like Tesla for this. You know, they just make the cars whatever they are, and they just handle like they are on rails. You still have track mode, and if you want to change the power delivery split and how the car behaves on the limit, you can do that, but by default, even for a beginner driver, it's set up to be very safe, so it gives you the confidence to actually kind of enjoy the car. And as much slack and hate as Tesla gets for bringing electric cars about, by them being so affordable and with running costs comparable to even better than the best kind of hybrids and economy cars, they've really democratized performance. And I know so many people who got into electric cars because of the tech or the environment, and they became driving enthusiasts because it's the first time they actually had access to a nice high performance vehicle. So credit where credit is due. Tesla definitely started the game, and they are definitely moving it on one step further now. Yeah, the seat is very kind of squishy and comfortable and soft, but the good side bolsters. But again, even on the seat base, you've got the bolsters, but it's not like those Porsche sports seats where it's so kind of upright and hard that it feels like you're sitting in a bucket seat. So my obvious question is, you know, Tesla is a young company. Seats are not electric car specific. Okay, the drivetrain tuning I think still is the best out of all the manufacturers. Why can't everybody else copy everything else? Like, how difficult is it to copy the seat? How difficult is it to copy the kind of slim dashboard? But what Tesla has copied is the refinement. Like, this feels like a BMW. If I was blindfolded, like, you could easily tell me that we are in an i4 and I would believe you. And how much is this car? I think they're below 60 grand for the full spec performance, below 40 grand for the standard range. This is where the market should have been by this point. Obviously, yeah, the same things as all Highlands carry over, so you've got the ambient lighting now. Tesla has since added, I believe, more software features, so you've got more options of how you control it. I still want to see, given it's positioned right below the windscreen, whether it will be able to be addressed kind of individually LED by LED, which would result in it being able to communicate to the driver about sat-nav directions, obstacles ahead, and so on, like it is the case on the ID3 with the IQ light. And dashboard trim on this performance is carbon fiber. I'm fairly sure this is fake. I like that it's matte. Again, from a practicality point of view, I think this should age a little bit better than the glossy one, and it will not reflect into the windscreen. All the storage areas, if you look into the door pocket, for example, as well, are carpeted. So again, a prime example of Tesla stepping up not just refinement, because that will help with kind of things not not moving around, but also will help sound deadening. It's like putting a carpet into an empty room. If I'm in a roundabout, it's just kind of easy to feel. So even if the wheel is upside down, you can know that this is the one and this is the other one. So let's see here. I'm not gonna look at it. So the wheel will be almost upside down, but I can just click it like that. Yeah, I think this is fine. It was one of the things where, would it be easier on a stalk? Yes, especially I think this will hurt rental companies more than anyone, because obviously with the rental car you want it to be kind of as familiar and standardized as possible, but it wouldn't be a deal breaker for a private buyer because you will get used to it in 10 minutes. Yeah, we've been out for 5-10 minutes and it's fine. People just love to be a little bit dramatic on the internet, and I think this is an example of people being dramatic on the internet. I just can't get over the comfort. This literally feels like a compromise-free car other than the range. The bigger wheels, wider tires, but yeah, it definitely does not have 514 miles of range. So yeah, I think realistically, motorway miles 220. But yeah, if you are in Germany, I'm sure Tesla could do with like an extended battery option. And I will just very, very quickly, I want to see what the kind of shifting is like on the screen. So I will reverse in. So at low speed, gear select electro pops up. Yeah, this is completely fine. I really positioned myself terribly. And the vision only detection instead of the parking sensors, having lived with a few Model 3s, this has improved over time and it's now quite reliable. So yeah.
You want one?
2 thumbs up. Yeah, I want everything which is here. Lovely. Let's get out.